Peace be upon you all. Calvin greets you from behind the screen. Abu Muhammad. Today I bring you a true story that unfolded between the United Arab Emirates and India, a story of betrayal, of a trust broken, and of a father's lifelong loss. So now, I am ready to tell you the story. I ask you to be attentive listeners, and perhaps to stand by this Emirati father in his plea to bring back his son, who is now 35 years old. Thank you. Life does not lack real stories, stories more ruthless and astonishing than fiction, stories written not by poets' pens, but in the ink of tears and betrayal. Among them rises the voice of an Emirati man who lived through an ordeal he never imagined would be his. He opened his heart with genuine love. He gave his trust with limitless generosity. Yet the wife he once embraced turned him into nothing more than a bridge across which she could pass to her hidden ambitions. He believed her to be his partner for life, but she proved to be a skilled actress in a long play whose script was betrayal, whose stage was deception, and whose victim was the heart of a faithful man. This is not a tale of imagination, but a true story that bleeds with its own reality. The story of a woman who made her home a theater of conspiracy, her husband a stepping stone, and an innocent child a bargaining chip in a merciless game. It was December of the year 1986 when a kind-hearted Emirati opened his heart to an Indian woman from Bombay named Nancy dcunah. She entered Islam before him, repeating the two testimonies in a trembling voice, and his heart shone and was washed with hope. He thought he had obtained the gift of a lifetime, a believing wife, a home filled with love, and a family built upon honesty. And to please her, he bought a house and registered it in her name. The years passed quickly. She bore him 2 sons, Suhail and then Naiel, and he saw them as the adornment of life and the fruit of existence. But behind her calm smile, Nancy was hiding another heart, a heart that planned in the darkness. The husband did not know that the woman he loved saw in him nothing but a bridge to another life, and that her love was nothing but false love, stamped with betrayal. There was another man in her life, Dr. Shenoy, an ambitious physician who saw in her a means and coveted what her husband owned, especially since she introduced the doctor to the husband as the family doctor, visiting all members of her family, so much so that even her relatives thought the friendship between the doctor and the Emirati's wife was a bond of respect and appreciation, not great betrayal. And in December 1990, Nancy took her major step. She sat before her husband and said with feigned tenderness, "Suhail will stay with you. I will go with Nail to Bombay for just 1 week. My mother is sick and needs examinations." He believed her, for who would think that a mother lies about her own mother? He did not know that she had arranged everything with her lover. After days, a call came that shook his being. Her voice was cold as stone. "I have decided to stay here. If you wish, come and live in Bombay. And if you do not wish, divorce me. Let us live with fairness, Suhail with you, and Naiel with me." The words broke in his heart like a poisoned sword. His trust collapsed, but he endured. A whole year passed while he tried to understand, was her marriage love, or was it a long play? Then fate willed to uncover what was hidden. The Emirati husband was on his way to Dubai, heading to the wedding of an old friend's son. He arrived 5 hours early and thought to visit an Indian family he knew, whom they used to visit during the wife's presence. He knocked on the door, and there appeared a face he knew well, Nancy, the runaway wife and the kidnapper of his son, Naiel. A moment in which breaths froze where past and present met. The discussion rose. "Why did you run away with Naiel?" "He is my son as he is yours." "But you betrayed the covenant. You planted betrayal instead of loyalty." The quarrel intensified until it ended with an agreement that she would hand over her passport as a guarantee against escape, that divorce would be completed officially, that she would live in the Emirates with lawful support, and that she would have the freedom to marry afterwards. He held the passport in his hand and thought for a moment that justice was near. But as usual, she did not keep her promise. While the Emirati husband was returning home, she went, with the advice and help of that family, to seek refuge and protection at the Indian consulate in Dubai. And she left the Emirates with the help of hidden hands. In Bombay, she married her lover, Dr. Ganesh Shenoy. He was more cunning than she, for he insisted that the house the Emirati husband had bought with the sweat of his brow be registered in his name, as a guarantee that the husband in this case could not legally pursue her, and also out of fear that the right might return to its owner. She sold the house, and the money was lost. But the greatest loss was not the money. It was the son, Naiel. Naiel grew up in a house where Dr. Ganesh Shenoy would repeat, "I am your real father," and his mother would respond, "Your biological father means nothing." He absorbed hatred as paper absorbs ink, and grew up with a distorted image of his father. And according to Indian law, they changed his nationality and his family name. They came Naiel Shenoy dcunah, and his real name, Naiel Alshibani, according to the birth certificate and UAE passport. And in the year 2007, Naiel was 15 years old when the phone rang. The father picked up the receiver, his heart burning with longing, and heard a voice cold and harsh. "Listen, biological father, stop bothering me by mentioning me in front of people. Not a trace of love joins me with you. My life here is complete. Stay out of my life." The voice collapsed in the man's ear like a thunderbolt. He could not reply. A lone tear fell, and he said in his heart, "Was it not I who carried you in my arms the day you were born? Was it not I who stayed up nights for you?" That was the last call between them. And the years passed. In 2018, SMS message that this from Dr. Ganesh Shenoy, saying after tomorrow, "It's your son Naiel, married far away from his father, as though fate wanted to deprive the old man even of that moment of life." He heard the news from afar, his heart burning but helpless. The father, Alshibani, he raises his hands to the sky every morning. "O Allah, reunite me with him before I meet you." The ending remains open, like an unhealed wound. Will Naiel return to his father, or will each of them go their own way until they meet at the gates of the afterlife? I need your help. Anyone who wants to help me can email me at dar5555@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. I ask God to make your lives happy. This is the strangest family story I have heard. But there is a question that comes to my mind, which is, what is the fault of the children that they were separated from each other? They did not live as brothers, separated by a mere whim that breaks the pillars of the house on its inhabitants by a mere personal whim. The talk will take a long time, and I will see you in another story. Until we meet again.